Okay, hey guys. Okay, so I am Stephanie for all of you, Stephanie Sutton, Double Diamond for all of you who do not know me. We have a special guest on tonight. I'm so excited. So make sure that you have your pen and paper so that you can take some amazing notes. I want to introduce our guest here in a second. I'll give you a little history as to how I know her. So, guys, our guest tonight is Lannette, okay? And most of you, all of you on my team, you have no idea who she is. And that's such a shame. We have to change that because I was blessed enough to meet Lannette through a sideline sister who I met because of an event. So I went to, it would have been It Works You last April, I believe. And I met Noelle Cruz, presidential Noelle Cruz, and she was super nice and kind of took Jake and I under her wing and let us sit with her, which was super nice because we were like brand new with we didn't know many people. And then I saw her again at the retreat that I won with Chad and Jeree, and we just became friends. And I would have never met her it would have been longer, but I would have never built that relationship like I did if I wouldn't have chose to go to that event. So because I went to that event and because I met Noelle, I was at Noelle's house. It was the month we promoted to Double Diamond, and she was going to lunch with Lannette because Lannette was in town. And I remember we went to Red Robin and Lannette was all like, "Who are these people?" And I was like, "I promise, we're good people." And so I was so blessed to be able, because I met Noelle, to be able to meet Lannette, and now we are sideline sisters, friends for life. And I really wanted to bring her on tonight, guys, because she is a Double Diamond. She has been in this business for a while. I'm going to let her tell you her story, but she is incredible, okay? If you know anything about the color personalities, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I feel like she is the most rainbow person I've ever met. Like, she is every color because she has such good organizational skills. She is so yellow and compassionate and caring, and she's super fun, but she can also be red when she needs to be. And I just feel like she just empowers all of those. And so I felt like with everything I've learned from her, that it was necessary to bring her on here and just let her share with you guys some of her knowledge. So Lannette, if you could maybe share your story and tell everyone who you are.
I feel like I'm going to cry because that was the sweetest thing that you've ever said. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it so much. But for those of you that don't know me, it is crazy how Stephanie and I met, because a little history on why I was up in Michigan, because I'm originally from New York. I live in Fort Wayne now. And we're going to kind of talk about that a little bit, because I want to talk about like your network and the market that you work with. But a friend of mine from Buffalo, New York, was coming to Michigan for a wedding. And so it's like 8 hours to go back home. And I love this girl. And she's like, "Hey, we're going to be in Michigan this weekend. Do you want to come and see me?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm going to come and see you." So then I instantly called Noelle and I was like, BFF, because Noelle and I met at events, and we've just become the best of friends. And I was like, "I need to come see my BFF." And so we decided to meet up, and she's like, "Well, hey, Jake and Stephanie are with us. Do you mind if they come with us?" And I was like, "I could care less who comes with us. The more the merrier. Let's just have fun." So a little bit about me for those of you that don't know me. March marks my 5-year anniversary with It Works Global. And I could not be more blessed and more excited to be on this journey than I was the day that I started. The only thing that's different now is I kind of know what I'm doing. And before, I just was like flying through by the seat of my pants, and I just didn't care. So I came into this business because I met a neighbor who was needing a petition signed for her 6-foot fence that she put up without permission, and the association wanted to take it down. And I think there's some really good history with this story, so I want to share a little bit and go. I want this, before we go further, I want you guys to write down any questions. I'm going to be real and raw and transparent. There's no holds bar. You can ask me anything tonight, because I think that the best part of this business, you guys, is being raw and real and figuring out how to stumble your way through the business, because we don't come in with some magic ball. We just got to figure it out. And I have fallen on my face so many times in this business, and a couple times then I'm going to quit. And then I think, what the heck am I doing? Like, I just can't do that. So I want you guys to feel free to ask questions anytime throughout. Anyways, this girl came to my house. We became friends on Facebook, and she was posting about this crazy wrap. And when I moved from New York to Indiana, I changed my whole entire life because I had a group of friends. I had a great job. I had a social life. I played sports. And then I moved to a new town, and I did not know anybody, like 0 people. And that was very hard for me. And I don't know if any of you have moved, but it was the hardest thing that I've ever encountered in my entire life. My husband was working lots and lots of hours. And so it was me and 2 dogs in a neighborhood where I think there was a drug house in this apartment complex because it's the only place that would take a Rottweiler. And so we would literally hang out in the house. And I never watched TV, but I had no friends. I had nothing to do. I didn't have, all the money in the world to just go be shopping because, my husband's like, you need to get a job. And I was like, okay, I'm working on that. So I literally had to sit in front of the TV, and I found myself snacking. And I had someone send me a picture. Fast forward, we buy this house in this neighborhood, and this girl presents herself on my doorstep and says, I have a product. Will you sign this petition? And then she's on Facebook showing the product, and I was like, girl, I put on all this weight, and I've seen some pictures. Let me just see if this thing works, because I'm skeptical. Now, I don't know if you guys know the color personalities, but I'm green. I am so green. I need to know everything. And I was like, for $25, whatever, come on over. Well, she didn't talk to me about any of the other products. Back then, we didn't have that many. She talked about her recent enhancement in her breast area and her love life. And I thought, well, this is random because I don't really know you, but okay. So I took the wrap off. I bloated, and I was mad. I was like, I told you this thing didn't work. She's like, just do me a favor, do the full treatment. So I did the full treatment, you guys, and my results are mind-blowing. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. So I said to her, well, I'll just be a customer or whatever. So I signed up. 6 months later, I went from a size 16 to a size 10. And everybody at GM, is where I work, General Motors, was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. I'm doing these wraps. Well, what's in them? I don't know. You want to put one on? I don't even know what's in them. Well, how do they work? I don't care. They do. Okay, well, how do I get them? I don't know. Let me call this girl. So I called this girl that was in my insurance agency, and little did I know that she was looking to promote. So I ended up just signing people up. Like, I went Ruby in 2 weeks because I was just so excited. Like, why not sign up for $50, $40 more? You can be a distributor and you can make your money and get your products for free. So that has been my little journey with It Works. And from that time, we went diamond very, very quickly. And we were able to receive a $10,000 bonus. Then we promoted to double diamond about a year later. And right after we promoted, we went to conference, and Mark rolled out the $15,000 bonus. And I was like, oh man, we just missed it. But the thing that I've learned about this business is once you understand that compensation plan, again, I'm a green, so I know all of the ways to make money in this compensation plan. I learned very, very quickly that, and I've teach this to my team, I never have chased a rank in this business. I have chased the bank, because what I've learned is I can make triple in presidential money on several months of the year as a double diamond, because I keep everything nice and tight. And so I truly am blessed, because after 2 years of being in this business, I was able to quit my job at General Motors, which we make $30 an hour there. So it was a really good job. My family thought I was crazy and I was losing my mind. And I don't really care, because at the end of the day, I just knew that this is what I loved. I get to help people, and I get to have a lot of fun doing it. And I know Steph talked about me having a lot of personalities in the color chart, but to be honest with you, when I first started this business, I was very red. I'm very driven financially because I want to have a really good life. I saw my parents struggle. I see a lot of my friends struggle. And I remember just wanting to, when I could barely have any money in my checking account, just be able to write a check and not wonder if it was going to clear. That was one of my biggest goals, you guys, when I started this business, is to be able to just sit down and write a check and be like, do I have to not pay a bill to make it clear? Will I have to post date that check? Maybe I shouldn't write that check. And that's a horrible feeling. And I lived that way for a while. Then my next goal was to pay our mortgage, and that's $1,200 a month. And so that was always my goal. So I was always trying to figure out that compensation plan so I could really figure out how can I just enhance every move that I make in this business. And so, yeah, that's a lot. Sometimes I feel like, my story's kind of boring, but yeah.
It's not boring at all. I love that. I love all of that. So what do you currently, can you like walk us through what a day in the life of Lannette looks like?
So yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I want to talk just because I think it's really important, Stephanie, to kind of highlight a couple things, because I think that every single person that is on this team is probably different. Some of you may have jobs. Some of you may have a full-time job of being a stay-at-home mom. That's an incredibly hard job. I'm not a mom, but I babysat for like a week for 3 kids, and I literally was like, how do people eat, sleep, and go to the bathroom? And like, how do you even function? Because little people are pulling at you all the time, and they always need something, and they can't do a lot for themselves. And so I give all of you guys mad props, because that's a lot of work. I have dogs, and CPS does not come to my house when I put them in crates. I'm just saying. So you're all lucky. But I feel like it's so important that every single person on here is a different personality, and you have a different way of building your business. And so one thing that I want to say before I tell you how I do my business is I want you guys to really think about and write down today, what do you do that you love, and what are you really good at? Because in this business, when we come in, none of us know what to do. And I have thousands of people on my team. And the one constant thing that I hear from them all the time is, what do I do every day? Because when we go into corporate America, we are shown our job, we're shown our tasks, we're told what we're needed to do. And if we don't do those things, then we're going to be terminated from our position. And so we need to learn those things to ensure that we get that paycheck. And sometimes those paychecks, you guys, are $8 to $10 to $12 to $14. And really, if you understood your compensation plan like I do, you could understand that you could replace your income very, very quickly in this industry. And it doesn't take as much work as you think. The key, and the big key, is you have to find what you're good at, because you're going to hear someone say, well, I use social media, and I'm signing everybody on Instagram, and I'm over here on Twitter, and I'm over here at events, and I'm over here doing wrap parties, and I'm over here just meeting people in the grocery store. And you're probably thinking, well, how am I going to do all of those things? A, because I don't have time, because a lot of you say you don't have time. There's always time. If someone's in front of you and they have eyes and lips and skin, you got a potential customer or distributor standing in front of you. So that's always cool. If you're at the dog park and there's only one person, odds are you're not going to have as much luck. So go where there's people. Secondarily, remember what you're good at. Take pieces of other people's page. Like, I love Instagram, but I don't get a ton of business on Instagram. I get a ton of business on Facebook. I get a ton of business at events. I have built my business on events. Events. And I want to tell you why I love events, because I get to meet a ton of people. Because here's my theory. Because I'm organized and I like to think about, how can I get the most bang for my buck? Well, if I've got thousands of people coming to me, then why wouldn't I just get all their information and call them back? So this is my lead thing from just the other day. So I haven't called them back. And these are just from this year from events. Tell me there's 500, 600, 700 names right here. I don't have enough time to call them back. And so I'm constantly working them. So I'm an event person. I love meeting people. I love having conversation with people. I love being face-to-face. I think that every single person has a story, and I want to know what it is. And I am genuine. I do not market with, I need a product tester. I don't need product testers. I need people who need change in their life. That's what I need. I need people who need hope in their life. I need people who need money in their pocketbook so they can afford to pay their bills and then do more. That's what I need. And when I ask for product testers, that's not me. It doesn't feel right for me. But I can tell you, I have so many of my friends that put that post out, and that works for them, and that's okay. So find what you're good at it and be really great at that. And if it's not exactly what Stephanie's good at, that's okay. And I just want to say what I do to stay on point, and this is what I teach my team. Am I able to screen share on here? Oh, I am. Look it. This is going to be good. I'm going to make this so easy for you. I literally live my life by a daily tracker. I'm very organized. I'm very green. And I'm going to get this to Stephanie. I think I actually already sent it to you before the Zoom. So this is a great way to keep track of what you need to do and how you need to do it. It also has a, hang on a second. I keep extra ones back here. I'm telling you, I work on them all the time. It also has a hundreds list behind it. So this is a fresh one that I printed off. I think it's important when you're driving down the road, you guys. I use Evernote and I'm like, oh yeah, I used to bank with so-and-so. Oh yeah, she likes wine. I'm gonna reach out to her. And so like I'm always writing down names and I keep them in my book. But this activity tracker, let me screen share for you. Let me get it opened up. One moment, please. Steph, sometimes I'm a random squirrel, so if I get to be too of a random squirrel, you just let me know.
I like squirrels. You're good.
Okay. So let me go to, here we go. Okay. Can you see this? Yes. Okay. So you can see here, I keep my name up here. I keep the week of. I keep my current rank. And this is my goal. It's so important, you guys. You have to have a goal. If you don't have a goal and you think that's kind of silly, I want you to think about going on vacation to Stephanie's house if you've never been there. No, let's go to mine because none of you have been to my house, not even Stephanie. And I say, come on over. I live in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And you say, well, how do we get there? I say, I don't know, figure it out. Well, how do you figure it out? Right? You need a map. You need an address. And then you can either put it in your phone or you can print it or you can use an old atlas. But you have to have some type of direction. If you have zero direction, you're going to sit in your car and think, well, where am I going? Okay, well, I can sort of go in that direction and get to the general area, but then what? So you have to have some type of clear, concise plan. So a lot of times we don't know what to do. I hear that all the time. So first and foremost, are you taking the product? I tell my team all the time to fall in love with one product, you guys, just one. That's all you need. For example, handbags. I love handbags. I've fallen in love with one. I can talk about that one handbag all the time. There's thousands of companies that make handbags, but I'm specifically drawn to one. So that's what I talk about. We have several products, but I talk about very few products. I love our cleanser. I absolutely love our cleanse. I absolutely love our skincare line, specifically our exfoliating peel. I still love our fat fighters. Ooh, yes, every single day. Just took them right now before our dinner because I just had dinner with a girlfriend. But I love those products. And I think it's also important that you take the time each week to get familiar with your products. Even if you don't take them, get familiar. Stephanie touched on this at the beginning of the Zoom, and she had said how we met was at a training. The reason I've had profound success in this business, you guys, is not because I'm lucky, not because I've had a huge network, because again, remember, I'm new to Indiana, so I don't have that group of people here. My network's at home. And when you're not in front of someone, it's a little bit different. What I found was I would go to trainings all the time, and I would hear Noelle tell her story about being a mom of 3 and having all of them and promoting, being an Army wife. I would go to listen to Jeree Caneller about her son almost dying and how they have been through the muck with their addictions and they met through Christ. I think about, the Stephanie and Joel Dunn who were knocking on food bank doors to get their food, to Denise and Brandon Walsh, who I can really identify with because they were in corporate America. They had good jobs. They could pay their bills, but it wasn't what made them happy, but it was what made them content. And what happened, you guys, is every time I'd go to a training or jump on a call, I would realize that I have so many friends that were very similar to those stories. And it allowed me to put a story to someone. So if someone like Stephanie called me and she wanted to not be a hygienist anymore, I can say, you know what, my friend Denise, and actually Denise and I are friends. I mean, but I can say my friend Denise was a clinical psychologist. You know, I used to be in corporate America with GM, and I really think that you should take a look at this opportunity. It may or may not be for you, but it is an opportunity to maybe bring you home so you can be with Riley and be a full-time mom if that's really, you know, a journey or a path that you really want to go down. So jumping on these Zooms, you guys, really puts a lot more conversations that you're able to have with individuals in your mouth. And I think that's what takes you to the next level in this business, because you always have that opportunity to share a story. If you don't get on calls, if you don't get on trainings, if you're not plugged in, and listen, it can be overwhelming. There can be Zooms every night of the week. Then there can be corporate calls. Then there can be trainings. Look at your calendar. If you have 4 days of that month that you can commit, then you know what? Pick your Zoom, the one that you know works best for you and your heart and your soul, the one that gets you fired up, the one that moves mountains inside of you, not the one you're like, not this crap again, like I heard it all. Like, yeah, you know what? You're going to hear some of the same things because there's really no secret sauce. But that just hearing those stories and knowing those things are really what are game changers. One thing that I did, the green in me, is I love the My It Works product coach. I keep it on my phone. It is an app right on my phone. I send it to every customer of mine. Every potential that I have that's interested, they get that link because I want them to be clearly educated, and I want them to show, I want to show them, look, here's information on every single product that we have. And it explains it so much more in depth because, you know, that's not my job to tell you that, but it also lets them know that we're not keeping anything from them. And so when I'm listening for cues of stress or diabetes or gout or, you know, like hair loss or thinning hair or acid reflux is a huge. I just had an opportunity the other night and I got some greens. Someone was talking about bloating and I was like, yeah, I'm cleansing right now because I am so bloated. And they're like, well, what's cleansing? And so I use those little cues all the time to bring it up. But the great thing is I have 27 stories of Bob, Tom, Dick, Harry, Joe, Sam, Bentley, Micaiah, whoever, because I've heard all of them at trainings. And the great thing is I can reach out to someone like Stephanie and be like, hey, can you give me your pictures? Here's another thing. And sorry, Steph, I'm kind of bouncing around and I'll get back to my tracker. But when I have customer testimonies, you guys, I always ask them to keep me in the loop. I constantly follow up with my customers. I've had the same customers for 5 years. My personal business volume is over $6,000, which is crazy. And I'm so proud of that because I work my customers all the time because I care about them. I want them to have success. I don't want to sign them and be like, oh God, what if it doesn't work? We're not $1 billion debt-free company if it didn't work. You know when it doesn't work is when people don't take it consistently or they don't take it at all. I've had those people call and be like, it didn't work, and then 3 months later they forget that they tell me that they took the product and be like, hey, I've got 3 bottles of greens that are unopened. Do you want them? Yeah, no wonder they didn't work. No, I don't want them. You take them. And then you can order some more because you're going to see how good they feel. So going to my tracker, I think it's important to be a product of the product. Here it tells you, let me go here, what are you taking? Did you do your workout? I don't work out. Sorry, not my thing. But I take my supplements and I wrap consistently, especially now that it's becoming boating season. Personal development. We talked about colors in the beginning, so let's touch here, Steph, may we? Personal development. I see you shaking your head over here. Personal development, you guys, when Stephanie said I was a little bit of rainbow of colors, I was red in the beginning, and I was so driven, and I wanted those bonuses. And I would turn around and look at my team and be like, I don't understand. Like, what don't you get? Like, why can't you just go get it? Like, I'm self-educating. If I don't know the answer, I go find it. If I can't find it, I go ask. If they don't have the answer, I ask somebody else. And I just keep on going until I get it. I use my eSuite for everything. The It Works Global page is great. The product coach is great because you ask questions there. And so I was just like, well, I'll just make some files and I'll just have these reference points. I mean, green in me is I'm very organized. But the product coach on my phone is great. But I used to crush yellows. And if you're a yellow, sometimes I'd be like, oh my gosh, like I love helping people too. But sometimes like you don't charge people for your wraps because you forgot to ask and you feel like you're going to offend them. Well, too bad. we are in business. We're not a charity. So we charge people for our wraps. That's how we make wrap cash. In Blues, we love to have fun. And so what I've learned through personal development is how to really engage and adapt to everybody's situation and understand them for exactly who they are and where they are. And I think it's so important when you have new team members coming in to let them know you're going to match their efforts. You guys, though, I promise you, if you push a little bit harder and dig a little deeper, you're going to do amazing things in this business. And thick skin in this business, if I told you today to go out and talk to 10 people about the business, regardless of their answer was yes or no, I would give you $100. You would go do it because you had nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. You wouldn't care if their answer was yes. You wouldn't care if their answer was no. You knew that you were getting $100. The crazy thing about this business is It Works Global gives you $100 every time you ask somebody to have someone come into this business when they say yes. And we do a launch party. I love getting that fast start bonus. I love that. And sometimes you might be thinking, well, Lannette, you know, sometimes people just won't say yes to the business and they won't say yes to the products. Trust and believe me when I tell you, if you put that wrap in someone's hand and they've never tried it, or if they have and they said it didn't work, I love those the best because I'm like, this is fantastic. I'm going to have you drink 4 glasses of water while I'm sitting here. You're wrapping. I'm doing your before. I'm doing your after. Day 2, I'm coming to take them, and day 3, I'm coming to take them. You can send them to me day 2 and day 3, but if you don't, I'm coming to get them. I love skeptics because I love showing them that the product does work. You guys, I carry these little sleeves around everywhere I go. I'll show you these. It is my product pamphlet. It is my business card sitting in here. There's a wrap in here. 2 samples of Wow, 2 greens chews, and 2 greens. I have a lot of old greens. I stocked up on them when they went on sale because I love to do these. Every time I go someplace, I have these. $25, you want to buy one? I put this in their hand. You know how many people say yes? They don't want to give it back when I show them pictures of before and afters. I also have facial ones too. Oh, man down. Here's the facial ones. Maybe you don't have the money to put these extras in it right now. That's okay. Get 2 customers and get yourself a wrap reward, you guys. That's $75 in cash. You can't beat the cash that you get from this business. I could show you a collection of purses that I love that have never, ever been charged. They've all come out of my wrap cash, and they're not cheap purses. There's one sitting behind me on my desk. You can see the corner of it. Personal development, you guys, is going to give you thick skin. What also is going to give you thick skin is call me anytime you want. Ask me questions. You guys have amazing leadership. My leadership has left. They went to the other business. They've asked other team members of mine to go with them. The leaders above that have left. The leaders above that now are field development and unfortunately are not in the same position to be able to help us. And so when it comes to leadership, I have myself. I'm accountable to me, myself, and I. I do not have someone cheering me on saying, go, Lannette, you got this. Let's get together. Let's hang out. I've had to make this success by myself. But at the end of the day, I realized, as much as it makes me sad, I have great sideline sisters. And so when I'm down and out, or I need a pick-me-up, or I have questions, or I need to toss around ideas, I get to talk to someone like Stephanie, or Noelle, or Denise, or Tina Hatcliffe, or, oh my gosh, like just, I can throw so many names that I know that in the 5 years I've become friends with that I can go to and say, I need help, or I need advice, or you know what, I'm feeling down and out because I don't have that edification coming from above. So be very, very blessed that you guys have amazing leaders in Jake and Stephanie. You guys, they're hands-on with you. I wish I had that. I wish I had someone to sit down and run with me and be like, let's go for the stars. And so I'm over here like, come on, team, let's go for the stars. But I'm hedging. I'm leading the pack because I am the leader in our group because my upline doesn't exist anymore. And Cammie was the top of the cream of the crop, and now she's moved. But her teams are so big, you guys, it wasn't like I have that one-on-one that you guys have with Jake and Stephanie. And so what really catapulted me through that was a lot of self-development, reading books. One of my favorite books, I have 2 absolute favorites. And oh, they're so good. GoPro, I don't know if you've read it. If you haven't, this will rock your little world, rock your world. It even tells you what to say to your Cold War market, your warm market, your I don't know market. I mean, this book is literally falling apart. I reference this all the time. And another favorite book of mine that really changed my perspective on the world is What I Know for Sure by Oprah Winfrey. I wasn't a huge Oprah fan. I mean, I didn't watch her show or anything. I knew who she was. I knew that she had done great things. That book was eye-opening to me, to be a Black woman and to go through the things that she's went through. And just her spirit and her hope. That book has forever changed me and my thought process about the woes with me, because I've had a traumatic past. That will be another Zoom. But it holds me back from feeling that I can be anything great. And that book changed that. And it made me realize no matter how difficult the situation has been that I've been through it, you guys, I can get through it no matter what. Because what I know for sure is I'm still here every single morning. And life is so short and we take things for granted. And we live just mediocre because we live by someone else's standards. Think about how many times that you've wanted to go for the gusto, even in this business, and like, go ask that girl if she wants to rap. And that little monster, like your mom or your brother or your aunt or your cousin or your best friend that doesn't support you, is like, they're going to laugh at you. That's a joke. That doesn't work. And you stop yourself. And little did you know, that was a single mom that needed this business. She needed that extra couple $100 for diapers. And you stopped because someone else's limitations were holding you back. I've done it. I've done it several times. And I know because I get that nudge, like, go talk to that girl. Go talk to that girl. And I don't. And then I kick myself in the butt. I remember this one time in Michigan coming home. I knew this girl needed this. And I prayed about this girl for months after because I knew that our paths have to meet again because she needs that. Personal development, you guys, is the biggest game changer. I wish I would have done that from jump. I wish someone would have said to me, do that, because that puts your mind in perspective. It's like reading, it's a strength. We talked about being connected. Here's the next one that I love, social media. Social media and I, we agree to disagree. I am like really good one day and then I'm really bad the next. And I'm really good one day and I'm really bad the next. I use Hootsuite. It helps me to stay on point. But Jade Hooper always said do to 3 to 1. So you want to do 3 posts per day, 3 personal to 1 it works. Because you don't want to be just an ad. Because think about DVRing your shows. We fast forward through the commercials. And so people don't want commercials, right? So then you want to invite people to hear about your business. Whether you're just inviting them to your Facebook page through the people you know or friends you know or people that you meet out. I have a new business card. And I love my new business card because it's not It Works related. Wait, can y'all see this? Wait, you see that? And it just says connect with me. And it just says that I'm a VIP leader with It Works Global. But everything else is just my handles on my social media. And it's me and my husband and a picture of us. So they can kind of see who we are. And they're like, since getting this, you guys, I have 167 followers on my Facebook. I mean, I feel pretty cool because I have followers now. Like, ooh, look at me. I mean, I'm not that cool. But I love that because it allows people to follow you. And then they see that you're fun, you're cool, you have a fun product, you have a great opportunity. With Facebook, you guys, life sucks. Things happen. Let's not put it out there. You have a business. You wouldn't want to walk into a store and listen to somebody cussing and swearing and talking politics and trashing the country and trashing a customer and trashing you and trashing the laundry and trashing the husband and the neighbor's dog and the music that was on and the sleep that you didn't get and the rain that prevented you from that. Nobody wants to hear it. It happens. We all get it. But on social media, when you have a business, you have to be a professional. So think about how you would want to be treated and how you would want to be in an environment when you were in a brick and mortar. Because when you are a business owner, you have to remember, the bigger It Works gets, the more people that they're going to have the opportunity to do business with. Why do they want to do business with you? I want people to do business with me because they like me, they trust me, and I always just have a really good outlook on everything. Follow-up is huge. If you're not following up, you guys, you're missing the boat. And here's one thing about follow-up. I've done a lot of research on follow-up. 5 years ago, they say you have to follow up with someone at least 7 times in order for them to even let it click in their mind and say yes. realistically, I think it's about 14 times based on the research that I've done. And I think it's important when you follow up with people, not just to be like, hey, you want to buy a product? Hey, you want to be a product tester? Hey, you want to buy a product? I think that follow-up is always touches. And so one thing that I can recommend with that is make sure you always leave a question unanswered, or you have a reason to follow back up with them. One thing that I always do is, even if they ask me a question I don't know and I do know the answer, I always say, I'm not 100% on that, and so let me get back to you. So that gives me the opportunity to follow back up with them. If I have talked to them and I don't really have a question that doesn't need to be answered, I will always put it on the table that I'm going to say, hey, I'll follow, I'll say, hey, I'll just check back. It was like great talking to you. I'll check back in on you in a few weeks and just see how you're doing. I just love connecting with you. So I always let them know that I'm going to be re-following back up with them. And with that being said, it's so important that if you tell someone you're going to call them at Tuesday at 9 o'clock, you call them on Tuesday at 9 o'clock. If you can't call them at Tuesday at 9 o'clock, then I don't know who that is. But it's probably a customer, because whatever. It looks familiar. But call them. You want to be that person that when you give them their word, it's gold, right? And here's another thing. If you have a customer, I let them know that their product is shipped. I follow up with them after a couple of weeks to see that they're taking it and how they like it. I follow up with them the next month, the next month, the next month. I'm always following up with them to see what they like and don't like, because if they don't like it, they're going to stop ordering. My paycheck does not reflect people not ordering. It reflects people ordering. And so it is my job, as their health and wellness friend, to make sure that I'm on that journey with them. And if they don't like why it's working, why? What can we do? How are you taking it? What are your goals? If you're just giving them product because you want to sell them something and you don't know where their goals are, they're not going to stick around for a long time. Unless, of course, they're like on skincare or something. But if you know their goals, you can help them achieve it. I mean, I've even taken people to the point of getting them their MyFitnessPal. I have groups that I send them in. And so, like, I keep them on track. Like, it's, okay, do you need to count calories? Are you taking a lot of sugar? Are we cutting carbs? I always send them the list from the eSuite when you do the system, which shows them how to get different foods and incorporate that and start to change some lifestyles. And I have like a little thing that I send to them. It's 5 lifestyle things, and pick 3 of the 5 and go with 3. Try to just change those and incorporate good, healthy things. So follow-up is huge. Am I boring you all yet? No? Okay, Steph. Existing customers, you guys, this is huge. I kind of touched on this before. If you have existing customers that have had great results, ask them to be someone that you can send their pictures to corporate. Do you know how many people love that? I have a girl right now that's doing hair, skin, and nails, and she chased me down at the YMCA the other day, and she's like, I have to show you my hair pictures. And I was like, well, let me put them side by side. And so I was like, well, can we send them to corporate so that you can like be on our corporate, like, photo roll and like be out on the internet? And she's like, really? Yes. I have people that have liver transplants that were struggling with swollen feet, that have neuropathy, that call our defining gel the defining goop. They love it. They come to my house. I sometimes keep extras in stock because they run out. They love the wraps. They love our product so much they've taken it to the doctor. The doctor now is telling other patients that are struggling with it. And I'm getting tons of customers because of a change that this has made with someone who struggled with something. I asked them, hey, can you put a post out on my Facebook page talking about your successes? Because I can't as a distributor, but you can as a customer. So I asked my customers to do me a favor and go out there and post what they think and what they like and to share their love. Sometimes they just do it by themselves, but I think that's really important. And the last thing that's on this, you guys, is to connect with your team. Again, I can't tell you enough how important that is. Kind of like family, you guys. If you're not connected, it's easy to walk away. But let me ask you this. If you have kids, I have dogs, and I love those dogs with my life. I could never just give them up or let them hang out to dry or not take care of them if they're injured, because they're my family. And I think sometimes because this business is only $99, people don't treat it like their family. They treat it like, meh, if it works, okay. If it doesn't, meh. Trust and believe you have so much opportunity in this business, so many ways to make money in this business. I love Wrap Cash, you guys. I love Wrap Cash. You know I love Wrap Cash because I love shopping. You know I love shopping with Wrap Cash because my husband doesn't know what I spent. He just knows I sold a wrap or two. Honey, that $700 purse, well, you don't know because it was cash. That's it. You guys, I love shopping. This is great for that. I love the car bonus, you guys. The car bonus is 60 customers. Maybe you don't want to build a team because you're scared to have people come into your business. Well, get 60 customers. There's billions out there that need this. The health and wellness industry is a $1 trillion industry. People are walking in GNC. I was at the mall today. People in GNC all day long, and I'm standing there with my It Works shirt like, what? No, come and see me. Trust me. You can just unlock that compensation plan. And every time you rank up, you guys, you unlock that compensation plan. And if you understand how to build a Ruby, you will be a millionaire. Just build rubies and you will be a millionaire with this company. I'm telling you, I remember when I first started, someone said, make sure you do the full treatment before you make a decision. I'm glad I did. And they also said, give it 5 years and it will change your life. And I thought, okay, it'll change your life. Like, really? Listen, it changed our life physically, financially, and the friendships. And that little saying, friendships, freedom, fun, friendships, fun, and freedom, whatever order Mark has it in, because I always get it backwards. Like, it's so true. I couldn't imagine my life without this. So the bottom part here, you guys, is the follow-up list, customers, distributors. And there's nothing more fun. I have mine highlighted, but I love to go through. And red means nope, they sign on another team. That's only happened one time. I didn't ask because I was too afraid. And his wife is like a freaking presidential in Tennessee. Yeah, I was a few months late on that. Oh, my wife just signed up. So always ask because you never know. Don't make the decision for them. Also, don't spend their money. You guys think that the people who want to spend $25, you're so wrong. People will drop hundreds on their health, and not even bat an eye because people are so desperate to feel good and to have a healthier lifestyle. So don't spend their money for them and keep track of them. I love to go through and highlight them in green. And what's crazy is it goes back to that. How many times have people said no? It's really K-N-O-W. They don't know enough. It's not N-O. Keep on them. Don't give up. If somebody goes to a different business or they say no, don't ever snub them off like whatever. Just be like, no problem. I always tell them this. Maybe you don't want it now, but one day you will. One day there's going to be a product that you're going to need, and I can't wait to be that person to sell it to you. And I ask every single person, you guys, if I can be their wrap girl. I said it to the girl at Victoria's Secret. I've been seeing her for years, and she's like, are you still doing that It Works thing? And I was like, yes, girl. I'm going to be doing it for life. She's like, yeah, I just need to learn more about it. And she was the manager down at the other store at Jefferson Point. Now she's she's just a bra specialist. I didn't even know they have bra specialists, but they do. But she does that now over at the Jefferson Point one. Hang on a second. I don't know how to make this on-screen share anymore, Stephanie. Let me see. Oh, stop share right here. Here we go. But anyways, so she used to be the manager over there, and she said something about, oh, I'm so busy, I could never do this business. And I said, you know what's crazy is I said, I don't want people that aren't busy in this business with me, because the busier you are, the more people you see. And I know for me, like when I was working 2 and 3 jobs, like I literally signed more people. I mean, and we still have rental properties that I run and manage. We still have a photography business. A friend of mine's title company, her manager passed away, so she asked me to help her. So I help her just part-time with some sales and marketing stuff, and I get to be paid. Like, I get paid to be in marketing groups and take people out to lunch, and I show up in my car, and they ask, how did you get in the title business? And I'm like, funny story. I golfed with this girl, and her office manager died. That's not the funny part of it. But she asked me to go answer phones, and that was 2 years ago. And what's crazy is that she wanted me to stay. And I said, if you want me to stay, you got to pay me $22 an hour. And I'm only working a couple days a week. I need 8 weeks of paid vacation time. And I get to come and go as I please. They agreed to it, you guys. Do you think that before It Works, I would have ever been that ballsy and asked for that? Well, I realized my worth the harder I worked in this business, because my work ethic, which is so strong, reflects in my paycheck. And so now when somebody wants me to work for them, this is how it's going to go. And if you don't agree to that, that's okay. I don't either. So I know I just threw up on your team stuff. So
No, I loved it. So funny thing before we move on, I was a bra specialist at Victoria's Secret in 2004. Okay, so I didn't know that that position even existed, and went in there for a job, and they were like, well, you can work the cash register for, I mean, I don't even remember what it was. I want to say it was minimum wage, right? Or you can be a bra specialist, and I could get a $2 raise above that. And I was like, well, I want the one that's more money, but I have no idea what a bra specialist was. Girl, the stuff I saw. Like, the bra specialist people are the ones that are like in the fitting rooms that measure you for your bras, and like they're like, you have to like literally know what kind of bra is for what kind of thing. Like, it is craziness. So anyway, I was a bra specialist.
We're gonna have fun when you come over to my house, because maybe my bras are not that special and
Girl,
I need to be resized.
I have not done that in years, and that's so funny. But anyway, so I love everything you just said, and there's so much about, like, I love that tracker, and you follow that every single day. So something with that tracker. So I was jotting stuff down. I have a couple questions. Okay, so when you're presenting that business to 2 to 5 new people every day,
Mm-hmm.
how are you doing that?
So,
Like, if you do that on Facebook, what does that look like versus out and about? And when you do expose them, what are you doing?
So I'm very outgoing, and I'm not afraid to ask. I'm just not afraid to ask with anything in life. I'm gonna go a little side note here. We were able to knock off our big item on our dream board, which is a boat. And I've never owned a boat, and we bought a really nice boat, and I don't know how to dock it. And I didn't like the location, because where we pulled in, the water pushed us and we kept on drifting. And so I sent a message to the dock marina owner, and I was like, the answer is always no if I don't ask. But I was wondering, and I'm not expecting special treatment, if you would consider putting me in a different slip, because first and foremost, I don't want to wreck anybody else's property. And second, I don't want to ruin mine. And third, like, it physically makes me ill, because I had no idea how hard it was. He agreed to it. The point being is, if I had not asked because I was afraid, the marina's full, so somebody has to be moved, and we already had our positions. And so the answer is always going to be no. I truly believe that we have an amazing business. I believe that we have an amazing opportunity. And perhaps you're sitting on this Zoom right now and you're new and you haven't made those ranks and you haven't seen those big checks. I remember my first check, you guys, like, it was like $60. If I would have based my future on that decision of like, oh, it's a small check, I can't even cover my auto ship, I wouldn't be where I am now. I mean, I remember the first time we got a $10,000 paycheck, I literally laid on the floor and I'm like, can we cash it out and like put it on the bed and roll in it? Like, what do you do with that kind of money? I don't even know what to do other than pay down my debts, you guys. And we've got a couple new cars. We've went on more cruises. And so we've had fun. So I've become more blue as I've been in this business. But I love to ask people, you know, like what they're doing. I ask them if things change for people all the time. So I'm always asking them, hey, this is my big thing now. Who do you know that I need to know that needs this business or these products? Because here's what happens. When you take it off that individual you're asking, so if I come to you, Stephanie, and I say, hey, girl, I know that you've seen me do this business for about 5 years now, and I know that this may or may not be for you, but who do you know that I might need to know that really could use an extra couple $100 a month, or who really is struggling with some health things, like whether it's their hot flashes or their diabetes or their gout, or maybe they're trying to lose weight, or they just need some more energy. And so when I take it off of her, all of a sudden she's like, well, I need a couple extra $100. And I was like, oh, girl, well, let me talk to you about it. But who do you know that I also need to know? And that's been really successful for me. People that I talk to on the daily, that I'm constantly following up with, I'll just say to them, like, have you ever thought about doing what I do, making money from your cell phone? You know, have you ever thought about making a couple extra $100? Because let's be honest, if I told people, last month's paycheck for me was $12,011.33, they're going to be like, I can never do that. I can never do what you do. I'm sure some of you have heard that. And so I always just say, what, you can't post on social media like 3 to 5 times a day, and you can't travel to Florida and have fun with your girlfriends and stay in beach houses, and you can't like go to Starbucks and rap people where it takes 3 minutes and get $25. I'm just wondering. Okay, well, who do you know that can? Who do you know that does have a little bit of extra time to do that? So I constantly am always asking for the referral, because that's where I am in my business right now, because I have talked to a lot of my warm market. The warm market scares me because they judge you the most, your family, your friends, right? So I love cold market. That's why I love doing like shows and bridal shows and stuff like that. I have another one on Sunday because they don't know me. They want to know me. They want what I have, and they fill out a slip and they get it. And when they don't win the wrap and the giveaway that I do, they win a spa party where I come and give them all complimentary facials where they get to experience. I love using the word experience because that gives them a feeling, an emotional feeling they can attach to that. But I want you to experience just how amazing and soft our skincare line is, and how your pores are going to shrink and your skin is going to smooth out, and your wrinkles, if you have any, are going to diminish just by our exfoliating peel that takes 10 minutes. You don't have to wear makeup. You can wear comfy clothes. And guess what? I come over, and if you want to get real fancy, you can put lemon in your water. And I love doing parties. You guys, I'm telling you, when in doubt, wrap it out. Seriously. When you put that wrap on someone and you take that wrap off, it's amazing. Listen to this. I meet this girl at Von Mar. I'm there for a trunk show. We walk in. She walks in together. She asked me about this purse. I give her my opinion. We end up standing there having a conversation. The next thing you know, it's 2 hours later. We're still conversating. We've like connected at the hip. We both buy our purses. We're just shooting the breeze. And I'm like, I just don't want this time to end. Like, I just, you're too cool. Let's go for coffee. And she's like, okay, call me. I was like, no, like right now. We went for coffee. She had to go get a massage. I was like, okay, we're going to the wine. Do you want to come with us? She goes to the wineries with us, hangs out with us, goes to the party. We're all like really tight. This has been like a month. I feel like I've known this girl forever. Interestingly enough, she was a loyal customer years ago. She works for a plastic surgeon, and she has seen leaders. She used to go to church with Alyssa Bayou. We all know that name. She doesn't know her. She just saw her through her journey and wearing the It Work stuff to church and whatnot. And she said she doesn't like network marketing, but she's always had a soft spot for It Works. And when she met me, she knew that it was it. So she's joining my team when she returns from her wedding and honeymoon, because she's going out of the country for 2 weeks. And I'm like, we're not starting you to get back. But she came over here and wrapped. And interestingly enough, she did her 2 arms, because we have 5, and she did her belly. You guys, she had such great results. I was like, people, and she said, Lannette, people pay $7,000 to get these results. And she's like, I literally paid $50 because she bought 2 wraps because we split the one for her arms. And I was like, and people trust you. So she's going to kill it, all because I talked to her about a purse. And I just said, well, why don't you do the business? Like, what's holding you back from doing the business? She's like, well, I don't know people. Girl, you know a ton of people. And if you don't know people, I don't know people in Indiana, but I got the internet. And somehow we're connected. And one day, maybe we can get together again, and I can share with you guys, and I got it from Kyler Pentecost, how I work my hundreds list constantly, how I find people. Because I'm constantly looking for people. Like, I go through my my high school book. You know, it's like, who do you know? Who did you go to church with? What churches did you go to? Where did you work? Who were you friends with? Who did you date? Who was their parents? Who were their parents' sisters? Like, who was your dog sitter? Who mowed your lawn? Who did you work with when you were a lifeguard? When you were at Rainbow Lake, who was that? Like, oh, when you went golfing that one time, what was that person's name? Like I have this check sheet, and it takes it not just off the top of your head, but it takes you and makes you dig further and further and further. And so I just reach out to them and stuff, you know, to really wrap that answer up, because apparently I like to talk a lot. I just reach out to people, and I find a reason to just shoot a message to them and just be like, oh my gosh, like, I haven't seen you forever. How the heck are you? Like, what are you doing with yourself? Like, are you married? Do you have kids? Like, that's the message that I send to everybody. And I don't even talk about It Works until they ask me what I'm doing. And then I just tell them I'm a leader with a health and wellness company. We've had great success with it. I'd love to share that with you sometime. I'm a rental boss like Donald Trump. It's interesting that he's the president now because I always wanted to be just like him. I'm still dibble-dabbling in my photography, and I've done that since I was in high school. So, that's nothing new. And, I get to tell people I got to quit my job at GM and, I work for myself. And so those conversations will come up, but I don't go there right away because I don't want my friends or my contacts or my leads to feel like the only reason I'm reaching out to them is so they can become my customer. Because we want to have such prestige and such integrity in this business. And I pride myself on not being that pitchy salesperson. I pride myself on being someone who cares about them. So
I love that answer. And I love how you were talking about how like you're building those relationships. And that is where sometimes, when I'll get questions from my team where it'll be like, but I need a loyal customer, but I need a distributor, but I need. And in order for me to hit this rank or this bonus, I need that. And so I'm always talking to them about building relationships because they're going to get further with that.
Well, and the thing that with that too is when you say I need, it's about yourself. And when it's about yourself, you're going to have a harder time. If you turn this around, you guys, and you make it about who can you help today? Like, whose life am I going to change today? Who am I going to change their situation? Who can I just reach out to who needs some love? Who needs to be lifted up? Who needs to be encouraged? Who needs to be empowered? You're going to find people are going to be drawn to you, and they're going to want to be around you, and they're going to want to be part of what you do. Like, people tell me all the time, like, oh, you look like you're so much fun, and you always just, like, make the best out of life. You're right, I do. Because, quite honestly, I think we all take life for granted. Like, we never know when it's going to end. And it could be tomorrow. Like, I could walk down the stairs, and that could be it. And that would be devastating to all those around me. But did I do everything that I could possibly do? Did I do what I wanted to do? When you guys came into this business, you came in for a reason. It wasn't because your sponsor said, oh, just come, it's going to be this. There's something in you that you want to see change, whether it's your health or your financial situation. Promise me that you'll take the time to really uncover that and really work hard, because you can have a great, great, great life. And if someone tells you you shouldn't, shame on them. Because do you know, like, I get to give back and help people less fortunate than me. There's nothing more rewarding than when I'm at a grocery store and I get to pay for someone's groceries. Or I get to help a kid buy sneakers for school. I get to help dogs. I love animals, and I love helping the shelter. Like, I love, like, taking a whole bunch of animal beds and dog foods and toys and just, like, here you go, puppies. Like, they're all wagging their tails and they think that's great. I mean, we all have our personal passions, but, like, my dad has been very, very sick. He lives in New York. He's his own business owner. Insurance is so costly in New York, you guys, and he couldn't afford his medication. My credit card is on file at his pharmacy. I've paid for his medicine for 3 years, and it's to the tune of $1,000 a month. I wouldn't have been able to do that before it works. We had good money, but we have a lot of mortgages with our rentals and roofs and ceilings and basements that crumble and people that ruin our houses and, like, constantly paying money. My next goal is to buy my dad a vehicle and surprise him with a big bow on it, because I can, you guys, because I can. And I never would have been able to do that. And maybe I would have, but I didn't have that mindset. I didn't think that I was good enough. I didn't think that I could. I didn't think that it was possible. In this business, it is possible. And when you have those moments, call Stephanie. Stephanie, you can give them my number. I'll tell you my number now. You guys can all call me and text me. You can find me on Facebook. I believe that every single person was made for a great, abundant life. And this is just a vehicle to take you there.
Like, mic drop, right? Like, I don't know how you write mic drop. Guys, isn't she amazing? I just love it. So I know that we could just go on and on and on and on and talk forever, but I know that we wanted to open this up to some questions. So I want to make sure that if you guys have questions, anything that you want to ask, Lannette while we have her on here. I want you to be able to do that. So if you do, you can unmute yourself, because I hope some of you have some questions, because I'd love to hear what you guys, want to know from her. Come on, I know you have questions. Don't stare at me like that. Nobody has a question? Jessica, I know you have to have a question. I know.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead, Shara.
Okay. My question I have is, you said that you have like different charts you use, and I seen the one. When it comes to social media, what is it that you normally do use? Like what for your hundreds list? You said you had a detailed list that you use. Like can't think of what the word you used, but you go deeper. Is that something like you have like a PDF of, or is that just something that you have on your head that you do?
No. Green.
Okay.
I'm a green. I have a PDF.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably have a spreadsheet. People call me the spreadsheet whore because I have a spreadsheet. We're doing a one team, one mission in Michigan, and I've already got a spreadsheet out there. I sent it to Stephanie. Well, no, I didn't get it. I sent it to Noelle the first day. I was like, okay, we need to have this organized. Yeah, I have that. I can get that to Stephanie. I think that is going to be a game changer for you if you're sitting here thinking that you don't know who to reach out to. You got to have, if your mouth is closed, so is your business. And if you don't have someone to talk to about your business or just talk to, you're not going to have a successful business. And you don't always have to talk about business. That always comes. Trust and believe, it comes. And people, when they see how much fun you're having, that's why I say it's so important on Facebook to make sure you're showing people the good. Like, don't show people the bad. Don't show them like you're mad at Trump. Don't show them that. I remember one of the girls on my team started talking about abortion on Facebook. Listen, whether you do or don't believe in it, not a really good subject when you have a business to be talking about, because you're going to offend a lot of people and then you're going to make some people happy. But the more that you offend, just be careful. And so, yeah. But I can get that to you. I think it's just constant. You constantly have to be adding names to that list constantly. But it gets easier, especially when you're getting results. When you're treating people good and you're following up with them and you're figuring out what their results are, you guys, they're going to tell their friends. Referrals is probably 10 or 12 of my customers a month. I get referrals all the time just because I ask for them. And that's nice. That's wrap rewards. I made $500 in cash. Look at, the proof is in the pudding. This is my wrap cash from the show that I just did the other day. Can you see that? People want what we have. And if you think that they don't want what we have, come blitz with me, because we will come home with 20 leads every single time. People want what we have. $500. Would y'all take this right now? That was one show. And you know what it was? It was these little guys right here. I just made a little sign. And I let everybody hold this. Everybody. I put this in here. What is that wrap? Oh, this is it right here. You can take it home. Do you have email? I can email you the directions. It's so simple. It'll take you 2 minutes to wrap, and in 45 minutes, you might just lose a pant size. I don't say anything about inch loss because we're not allowed to, but they might lose a pant size. I've seen that happen before. I've seen people lose a bunch, and I show them before and afters. And I have an iPhone, and I use this app called, I'm going to share this with you if you are iPhone users. I can never think of it. It's like Slidebox. Oh, yeah, Slidebox. So Slidebox, it looks like this little silver right here. Can you see it? Slidebox? Yeah? Okay. So Slidebox lets you organize your photos into folders. And so I have a before and after. I have thighs. I have face. I have like wow. So I have different folders. So I can pull that up and show them pictures, and they start to see pictures, and I just hand them my phone and I'm like, look at it. And I show them my favorites, and I'm like, ooh, let me show you my favorite. Like, she lost the most with one. She literally, like, I can't even believe her results. Like, it was just crazy. But I gave her greens too, and she hadn't pooped in a long time. So I think that had something to do with it. But I show them wow pictures. I put wow on them right there at the event and take before and after pictures. And so they want that, you guys. And so, yeah. But I can get that to Stephanie for you. Okay, girl?
Anybody else have a
Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for showing me your face. I always love to see who I'm talking to.
Yeah, I have the kids, so it's been crazy. So
No problem. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I cuss like a sailor and I don't mean to. So if I did and you had kids, I apologize. But I put a sticky note down here, don't swear. Sometimes
I have headphones, and just in case we're good.
Yeah. Sometimes I say that word. So I have to put notes here. Don't swear, Lannette. So. Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions before we let Lannette go? I mean, I could ask her questions for days. Like, you guys, don't be scared to ask if you think nothing's a dumb question. Like, it can be about anything, because, I mean, I've been doing this a year and a half, and I could sit here with Lannette till 3 a.m. and just pick her brain. Like anything, guys.
I did cover a lot, though.
You did.
I kind of touched on a lot of things because I just felt like sometimes you get on Zooms and you hear so much stuff, but I think that real and raw is really what has been great for me. Please just chase the bank, not the rank. I'd rather look like, I'd rather have 6 figures in the bank than look like I do. At the end of the day, that's what pays my bills, and nobody else does. And if they don't want what I have or aren't interested, no. And when I blitz, you guys, one little blitzing tip that I can give you, I blitz everyone. I give everybody my card, and I find a reason to talk to them. I just think that sometimes we don't know what people are going through. And I think if you just smile and just look at someone in the eyes and just say, how are you? Or hold the door, thank you. Or like have manners, or just be like, hey, how's it going? Or like when someone says, hey, welcome to blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, hi. Or they're like, how are you? Like when you walk into store today, I'm like, I am so good. How are you? Thank you for asking. I always thank them for asking me because it reminds them that we appreciate that they asked. So think about that. When you give someone a compliment or you're complimented, thinking about when you're complimented, like if I tell Stephanie, I love it when she wears her hair up and she has her headband on, and every time she has her headband on and she has it up, I'm just like, I just love it when you wear it like that. She's going to get more confident every time. And like, she's probably going to be like, oh, I'm going to talk to Lannette, I'm going to wear my headband because she loves that. And if people say, oh, I love your eyeshadow, I'm like, yeah, I want to make sure that I'm rocking my eyeshadow when people see me. Or, you know, like think about those things that people compliment you for. It just builds that confidence more and more. And I think that sometimes we just live in an ugly society. People are so bogged down with hustle and bustle that we stop and forget to be nice. We stop and forget to just take a moment and say thank you or be appreciative. It's just like, we got someplace to be. We got our kids to get here. We got that to go here. The traffic's bad here. And I got to run in here. And I got to do that there. And I got to, and at the end of the day, we all have that hustle and bustle. So when you have someone who is absolutely wonderful and polite or treated you well, I mean, think about that last good experience you had. You know, one thing that I use is my big line always is when someone thanks me, I always say, it was my pleasure. I don't say you're welcome. I say, it was my pleasure. My pleasure. Look through our messages. Ask Stephanie. I always say, it's my pleasure. People remember that because it shows them that I was happy to do that for them. I might not have liked to do it. Some customers are like, oh, it's my pleasure. If you could only see my face and my middle finger. But it was my pleasure because I'm there to service them and take care of them. They can't see that, but, you know, think about that. When someone does that, just get your tagline, get your, you know, people say, oh, you always look happy. And I'm like, why wouldn't I be? I get to choose every day. You guys, every day you choose what you do or don't do with your life. Your feet hit the ground. You should be damn happy that it did. See there, I just cussed. But think about how you're going to spend your day. Choose to talk to people, choose not to. Choose to have an abundant life, choose not to. Choose to have a big fat paycheck, choose not to. Choose to go to an event and not talk to people about wraps that tighten, tone, and firm in 45 minutes. Yes, I have a bridal event on Sunday. I'm going to plan on selling those other 6 wrap boxes of wraps that I just got. And I love wrap rewards. I'm going to make another $600, $500 because that's good money for me. That's just going to pay off more debt. This is my year of paying off debt. I go into that event thinking, yes, when I got on today, I had my music on because I like to get pumped up for things because I get to come on your Zoom and share with you. You get to jump off if you're not interested. You get to ask questions if you want to. We get to do all of these things. And I think that we just get so caught up in feeling like it's just like, what? No, think about it. Your life is so much better. Listen, my house was paid for and my truck was paid for and everything was paid for and I just had money sitting in my bank that I can do whatever. You guys, that's what It Works can do for you. You just don't know it yet. You just don't know it. And if you want to know, jump on because I will take you with me and so will Stephanie. The sky's the limit. Seriously, it's not going to be easy. So I'm going to be honest with you where other people are like, oh, it's so easy. Oh, hell no. It is hard as ever because you have to want it and you have to be self-motivated. You have to jump on these things. You have to be constantly learning. You have to be constantly asking, but it gets easier every time. You know, we're built in a society of no. We're built in a society of to try everything and be good at it. No, be good at one thing and do it really good. And yeah, like just don't let other people's limitations hold you back from being awesome in this business because I'm telling you, the sky is the limit. 5 years, I get just as excited. I was nervous getting on. I was like, oh, I get to pour into a team. I love that every single one of us has the same opportunity. We all spent the same $99. We all have the same social media. You only have 5 friends on Facebook, go out and get 20. Go out and get 30. That's really on us. It's nobody else's fault if we don't succeed or do succeed. You can't point the finger at anybody. You guys are so lucky to have Stephanie and Jake. So lucky. Because I don't have that. I can't blame my upline because I'm successful or not successful. I get to blame myself. And so, yeah. I don't know. I can talk a lot. My bad.
I love it. I love hearing you talk, girl. And Jess, I saw you unmute yourself. Did you have a question? Yay!
Yes.
So I just wanted to ask, how do you find, how do you reach out to your cold market, whether that be both on social media and in person?
Cold market being contacts that you've met and you've not talked to, or just people you've friended on Facebook that you haven't talked to? More specific.
Mostly like people you've just added on Facebook.
So when you're adding, okay, so are these people that you met out in the real world, or you were just add?
I do more just add than meeting people.
So are you adding them? So I'm going to dig a little bit deeper here. So are you adding them from a common core ground, like you're in a page of dogs, like I Heart Dogs? So you're adding dog people.
Yeah, I do some of that, and then a lot of times, I at least have a few mutual friends with them as well. So, or if I see a horse in their picture, I have a horse, so I'll add them because of that. Or
so okay, so here's a good thing. You have to be really good at your craft. So if you're really good at adding people and they're accepting it, they're probably creeping your page a little bit. I creep everybody's page that friends me. And if you guys want to follow me, please do. You can friend me too. Sometimes I don't accept them for a few days because I have to creep you to know who you are. I get weird people that creep me. But what I would do is find that common ground, Jessica. And, if you're in a horse page with them, say, hey, I wanted to send you a friend request because I see that you post pictures all the time. And, maybe they're doing dressage, or they ride Western, or they ride English, or they had cute boots that you saw in that, or you noticed that they had some tack that was really cool. You might not really need it, but you might say, hey, where did you get that? Because I have, a horse, and how long have you had your horse? Or, you want to find something to send them, like that common ground and that compliment, but ask questions. I love shopping in shoes. So if you get me around someone that's got some cool style, I can sit there and I can talk about paint all day. But when you send those messages, follow back up with them and tell them why you sent them a friend request. So they don't think that you're just trying to creep on their business. You have something in common with them, and there was a reason that you reached out to them. Because I'm sure you're selecting those individuals you're adding for a reason, because something stood out to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just send them a message and just be honest. I did that in the dog thing. This girl's dog was beaten by some stupid idiot, and that it just broke my heart. And so I just sent her a message, and I was like, okay, I'm just wondering, how's Molly doing? And so I would ask her now and then, and she would send me a message, and we went back and forth. And, you know, long story short, after talking back and forth, she's a minister, and she wanted to know what I did, and so I sent her some green samples, and she became a customer. But it never started with me going to her, although that was my intent the whole time, to get her to know what I did. But, you know, we still stay in touch, and it was all about her dog, because somebody was not nice to her dog, and that made me angry, and I was worried about her dog. I genuinely cared about the dog, but there's always and sometimes I feel bad about that, but then sometimes I don't, because now she feels really good, and she's lost like 7 pounds since being on the green. So I would always just follow up. I want to share a quick story. I mean, if you have to go, y'all go. If you want to stay, you can pick my brain all night. It doesn't matter. But, you know, I bought a boat recently, and I was asking people about docking, and I had 157 messages. And I would just send messages, and the people that were genuinely nice, I would send them a private message and just be like, thank you so much for, you know, helping me. I really appreciate it. And, you know, would you mind if I, you know, ask more tips down the road, because I'm so new at this. So I left that door open. And so they like that, because they're good at that, right? So they like to answer those questions. Now, on the flip side, a couple weeks ago, and I screenshotted this girl. This girl sent me a friend request after I got my eyebrows done. I got my eyebrows microbladed. If you live in Indiana, I got a great girl. And it was one of her friends, and we had a couple mutual friends, and I kind of creeped her page a little bit. And I sent a friend request. Within 5 minutes of me accepting her friend request, she added me to her page, her business page, and she's in another business. And it kind of made me a little angry, because I was like, oh, she just wanted to be my friend so I could buy this product from her. Little did she know that my really good friend sells this product. Okay, so I sent her a really polite message, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, thanks so much for adding me as a friend. Like, how do we know each other? I'm just trying to figure it out. And she's like, well, we don't, but I see you sell at work. And I was like, oh, okay, well, did you have questions on the product? She's like, no, I just like other boss babes, and so I just wanted to send you a friend request. And I was like, well, I noticed that you added me to your group. And she's like, yeah. And I said, well, I wish that you would have asked me to be in your group, because I do have someone who sells it. And I absolutely love that all of us are in the industry together. And I absolutely love that we can all work together and empower each other and give the industry a good name. I said, but I don't like it when you just add me to a group. She goes, well, you can unfollow the group if you don't want to. And I said, but I shouldn't have to. And I said, it's people like you that give this industry and communities a bad name. Because she's like, well, we run our businesses differently. And I was like, yeah, I guess we do, because I would always ask people to be on my business page. I would never just invite them. And I do have someone that is interested. I said, had you sent me a message and told me that you love other women and you're also in the business and that you have a business and you're happy to add me to your page, I would have went in it just because of the way that you handled me. But when you come in and try to manhandle me and push me in something, I don't like that. So I think it's so important to be thoughtful. So if you're sending friend requests and it feels right, send them a quick message and just be, have that common ground, and don't make it about it works, because that will come up. I promise it will always come up, because they will watch. Especially, think about this, you guys. If you're adding new people on Facebook all the time and you're not saying anything, and let's say 5 other It Works distributors that you don't know that you're not friends did, why are you different? So be the different person. Be like, my kid is the same age as you, or like horses. If that's your thing, then talk about the horses. Do not make it about It Works, because when they're ready, and they will be, they will remember that you were not the bully that was like, come and get my product, and I just wanted to add you because I needed you to buy. They're going to be like, oh, she didn't even mention it, but she does it, and she looks so successful. And then when they come see, like, Oh, I'm happy to help you with that. That makes sense?
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much.
Anybody else have a question?
My dog does.
I love it. All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate you all hopping on here. I did record this, so if there was somebody on your team that couldn't get on, I'm going to upload it. And then, Lannette, if you happen to want it for any reason, I'll just send. I normally upload it to like YouTube or something. That way, it's like kind of like kept like in my little private thing. Is that like what do you do with your Zooms after you record them, or do you ever record them? You're
Yeah.
funny. You're like,
I record them. I keep them in my Zoom file on my desktop. It depends on what they are. I usually just put them back out on the team page, or if there were like other leaders that we have on. I'm going to just extend this to you guys. Every Tuesday night, Stephanie, we do a Zoom at 8 o'clock. It's a power hour. I have scripts. We give away prizes. We work. We have fun. It's not like get to work, girls. It's a lot of fun. Again, sometimes knowing what to do is the hardest part, and so we kind of walk you through that. We come to work and come producing because I'm here to work as well. So you guys are more than welcome to participate in those. Those are Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. And at 9:30 on Tuesdays, I do a Zoom. These Zooms are very, very helpful, especially for new people. Sometimes you've been around and you just didn't know a lot of things. So the next 5 weeks are actually all plotted and planned out, where we're going to be doing product knowledge. We're going to be doing eSuite training, testimony training. So I've got some really good things up my sleeve. So you guys are welcome. So I'll share those with Stephanie. So you guys are more than welcome to participate in those as well and jump on those Zooms, because knowledge is power, and the more knowledge you have, the more powerful you can be. So,
well, thank you so much. I have
my pleasure.
on here. I'm gonna stop this.